Okay. Hey y'all. Hey. Okay. It is a beautiful day. Even if you're still asleep. Um, we are focused. We are focused in many ways. Um, Focused on working the plan. Focused on kindness, compassion, and proper community interaction and community building and our relationship and our relationships, focused on healthy habits, although we be falling off, focused,
We be.
we be falling off, mama, we be falling off. Give us free. Um, and we are focused. The sounds are barely audible. Okay. Does that help? You can just answer out loud. No? No change?
I hear him fine.
Does that help?
I hear you
Yes.
fine.
Now it's now it's loud
Now it's
a little
loud.
bit.
Okay.
It's fine. I mean, it's somewhere in between the two. Yeah.
Okay, this is in between. Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Like I said, focused. As you can see. Now, we are focused on the story of our lives, but also we are focused on the inward journey. Like everything else that I just said describes an aspect of our outward journey, the journey we are taking towards tangible goals. But we are also focused on our inner journey, our inward journey, going deeper and deeper this way, and not only further and further through time or through success or through reputation or something outward. And what does it mean to be focused on one's inner journey? Well, the inner journey, as put by um, awesome storytelling coach Michael Haig, the journey from identity to essence, or as Muji would put it, from present to presence. From trying to being, from thinking to knowing. This is the journey. And it doesn't really have a destination. I mean, essence is not limited to a picture in the mind. Pardon me. Essence is not going to replace one's identity. In a way, it is, but it's not like a exchange of one prison for the next. It's not like that. It's more like the identity is slowly and lovingly and purposefully being embraced and eventually swallowed whole by essence. So it's still available for when it's appropriate. In other words, an awakened being doesn't start or doesn't stop responding to people when they call their name, even though they know I am not this name. So essence embraces and takes in, swallows whole the identity. It's not that it just replaces it and now I am just the I am. Or something. Which, is something that we all kind of imagine sometimes, that, it's just this holiness and that's
And
it.
that's what Prince did. Y'all figure out what to say.
Rest in peace. and it's really awesome seeing different examples of this inner journey in other people. One of my favorite examples is not spiritual in nature at all, or I say at all, but the context of watching this man's story is not spiritual at all. I'm sure for him it's very spiritual. But Dave Chappelle just, he says certain things that a lot of people may disagree with, but you can, if we put like a side agreement disagreement on a surface level and just look at his sort of journey and how in 2004 when he walked away from $50 million on the table because he says just not me, and then the 10 years of he would do stand-up sometimes, but he was just not there. His DVDs were there and they were watched, but he was not there. He wasn't getting paid for those DVDs anymore because his contract was up. And just how this time period, and I'm gonna paraphrase things, and I don't know the brother personally, but how this time frame of just whenever I need some money, I go book a show somewhere, and it sells out no matter what. And I love doing stand up more than anything else. And he just goes, and other comedians that talk about him, like Kevin Hart was talking about how he heard on the grapevine that, like during his show, he heard on the grapevine that Dave Chappelle's in the same city, and he's probably going to do a show, and so he calls him up, and he's like, "Yo, Dave, I heard you're in such and such, Sacramento. I don't know if it's Sacramento, but I heard you in Sacramento. I'm here. I'm doing this thing. What are you doing? You gonna do a show?" He was like, "Yeah, I was thinking about it." This is Dave Chappelle's response. "Yeah, I was thinking about it. Already booked." Yeah, I was thinking about it. And this sort of very free attitude towards life. And Kevin's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna show up. What time is it? I got one more show, that I'm doing." And he said, "Oh, okay. It's gonna be around, such and such." All right, cool. And so Kev does his show, and he rushes over to the venue, and he gets there, finds Dave, and he's like, "Hey, man, how you doing? Did you start yet? I got here as quickly as I could." He said, "Nah, I pushed the time back." And Kevin Hart being the I think probably the biggest comedian right now. He was just like, "What? You just pushed the time back. You just pushed the time back?" Dave Chappelle, like, yeah, you know, and just this free, the word I'm trying to wait to say at an opportune moment is this freedom that is apparent and felt and clear to see on people who have completed or maybe partially completed this inner journey of identity to essence, right? Of I'm just a comedian to I'm Dave freaking Chappelle, right? Which is not like an arrogance thing. It's a taking oneself less serious thing, taking one's old identity less serious thing. um, what will be kind of thing. And and you can surmise a trust. Not that everything will work out personally, but that everything will work out. Period. And I mean that that's just one example. There's plenty of other examples as well. And I love to see them, and I love to they're still rare. It's not like it's just examples everywhere. But when I do see them and they're not in the like super spirituality context or like um, MD PhDs that discover that we don't there's nothing in the body that actually suggests we're in here, we're actually something beyond physicality, and then they have this spiritual awakening because of what they discovered in the lab or something. These examples that aren't disciple of this guy, and then this disciple woke up. Out of all of these disciples, this one person woke up. Because it's like when an American wakes up, it's like, okay, if he can do it, if she can do it, I can do it. And then you look at the story, like, how did it happen? And it sometimes just comes to, well, it seems they just started to trust themselves, and they started, their confidence shot up around this area, and then it's probably shot up some more when they started living with that confidence and started trusting in that confidence, and it started working, and then they got a boost and a momentum in the direction of true essence, in the direction of essence. And they didn't let anything stop that momentum, and then eventually they arrived somewhere internally. And so, yes, I see a comment too. I'm not invested in a particular outcome. Exactly. It's just alive, Like, really, though. Living. Thriving, we would say. Thriving. And, the example, Dave Chappelle, he's an example of somebody that's also, quite financially successful, but that doesn't have to be a part of it. It doesn't, it's not a, like personal financial such and such. It's not a requirement, because some people wake up and they're just taken care of by their community because their purity is valued by all that come in contact with, most that come in contact. I can't say all, I mean, they crucified Jesus Christ, I mean, come on. But most that come in contact with them, the community just takes care of. So food, shelter, community initiatives, and projects to be compassionate towards Mother Earth. All of these things happen around them all the time, through them all the time, and they don't sit at their computer and organize things, right? they, it just uh, yes, they're just following their own flow. Exactly. Yeah, and they have a fearlessness about them. Yes, yes. So you guys are getting it. Yes, 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 yes. So my question for us this morning, and try to try to give it some of that confidence that comes with the journey itself, right? When you come up with your answer, even if just for today, how will you take one more step toward essence? One more step from identity to essence.
Piggybacking off the Chappelle example, I think I will try to disinvest myself from outcomes. It doesn't mean I won't have ideas about what I'd like to do, um, or any of that. But that really does remove a lot of fear. I mean, just saying, well, I'm going to go this way because this is how I feel led to go. I don't think Dave Chappelle worried if it was 3 people that showed up or 3,000. He going to drink his liquor and smoke his cigarettes and talk to them 3 people like they 3,000. And if it's 3,000, I mean, he didn't care. I think some of that does come with some financial security, but that's really not where it comes from. I mean, he has the ability to do that, but I don't think it's just about that. So just that freedom, he's doing it because, like you said, he likes to do stand up. He was mostly there because he wants to do it. The check is nice, but that's what he likes to do. And so
Yes.
when I think about what I'm called to do, I'm like, go do it. That's what you want to do, not because you're worried about who all gonna be there. Let the rest come. So that's the kind of mindset I think I want to adopt. What I want to do, I want to do it. Like I do it in my room talking to the stuffed animals. So go do that and let the rest worry about itself. So I think disinvesting from what I consider to be a successful outcome or ideal is stressful. It's not useful and certainly not free. And so I think that's a step toward just essence is not not being so invested. Being mindful of it today, in other
Right.
words.
Right. Right. Remaining aware of both the tendency to be attached to the results, but also the relaxing of that tendency itself. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
That's really good, Lisa. I like that. Um, and for me, uh, just just listening more to my inner voice, because it's telling me things all the time that I often dismiss. So I'm trying to be more mindful of listening to that voice because it really takes me in a good direction if I just listen.
Wonderful. Yes. We all know what that voice is all about.
The best story, the best life story that you've ever experienced that's uniquely your own. That includes all of the things. Um, mm, moving from identity to essence, I feel really called to using sound lately. So there are high frequency tracks in the members area. I've been listening to a lot of them in the playlist in there. And overall, sound healing, utilizing certain sound frequencies to, like, thinking of them as, like when you know that your body needs a certain kind of food, you go ahead and eat that. Little here, little there, balance out, um, or when you feel like in your spirit you just need something to uplift you, you may listen to an audio or watch a video that, like, helps harmonize. And so embodying that same ideal of harmony and patience, harmony and patience, have balance, harmony and patience, but like those have been my words. Those have been my words. Because just like what you all have shared, there is this calling and this moving and this, like, organic shifting into a direction that feels so rewarding. It feels so good. And you just keep going. You just keep going. So I feel like my next step involves more use of sound, whether it's music or certain frequencies, like in the create along, which is now uploaded in the members area. It has the frequency of love, the 528 hertz, specifically, and like literally tuning up the energetic body and thereby the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the mental, um, bodies. That's what I've been checking out. Yeah. So stay tuned for more tracks, more healing.
I need a solid 45 minutes to an hour of that. That was amazing.
Yeah.
It's like you get like a 25-minute massage, and you're like, why didn't I just get the hour? So, yeah, that was amazing.
Queenie in the chat writes, when I find myself in a mental struggle, I will recognize it as identity or ego. I will allow the layers to peel away and allow myself to rest in what remains and is always there.
Essence.
Essence.
Yes. And that
Wow.
layer
So,
to peel away piece. 'Cause sometimes we
yes.
gotta cry. Sometimes it needs to release.
Because so you're talking about going from identity to essence. Identity is something that we develop, we move and grow into. Essence is that which has always been here, always is there. So really, it is about shedding. It's about shedding more probably than moving.
Yes.
Shedding the fear, shedding the ideas, shedding the preconceptions, shedding the conditioning,
I love
shedding.
the metaphor of a sculptor
Yes, I
because
was gonna say you started us off with that.
yeah,
Yes, you
because
started us off at some point with that. Yep.
like whereas a carpenter or an inventor um, or a painter even puts pieces together and then makes something that was kind of in here first. A sculptor takes a chunk of clay or rock or something and chip away until something is revealed. Right? It's a little different. It was already inside. and they just chipped away what was not it, and discovered the essence of what was inside. And so I always like that metaphor where you're not building yourself into essence. You're just letting go of
All
the
that is not.
belief. Yeah, the beliefs that tie you to identity. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it really comes down to like beliefs and like non-tangible things. It doesn't come down to actions. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to think actively? That's an action. It's not about thinking and stuff. It's more about shedding what we hold on to. And if we add anything, it's we add a little faith. If we add anything, it's not required to add something, but if we add anything, it's a little faith. Faith in self, faith in God, faith in it'll be all right, faith in something worthy. My answer to the question. Thank you all for sharing. Even if just for today, how will I take one more step from identity to essence? I am going to yeah, sorry, I'm just letting it come, right? What's coming that feels right is I'm going to I don't know how to say it exactly. Introduce reflection into reactions. That's kind of it. I'm going to introduce reflection into reactions and what it means. It means reactions, internal or full blown, may occur and may complete themselves before I am able to stop them. But that doesn't mean that the next moment is not new and completely free of the last, and where I can insert or introduce reflection, okay? That reaction is tied to a belief of some kind. Let's investigate. Is it true? The belief, is this belief still here in my vision for myself in the future? Is it relevant to truth? And 100% of the time, the answers to all of these questions will be no. If it's a reaction. If it's a response, then maybe so. But if it's a reaction, absolutely not. So just for today, at least, I will introduce reflection to reaction. And I want to say thank you to all of you for coming and for becoming this sort of bird with me that flies just through and over all the OBS and through this flies, meaning like goes fast, but also soars over and through the this journey from identity to essence with me. Thank you, Tensi. Thank you, my mom. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Queenie. Thank you to Ami and all the rest as well. Really, really, really thank you. So, let's go ahead and begin Friday morning meditation. The way that we always do. Mama, what are you doing, Mama? You got concentrating eyes.
I was trying to put a heart in there. Thank you. I told you I'm too serious. Busted. Like, cold busted, right?
No.
Put in the heart for you.
Yes, yeah.
See, she was on task, so.
Okay. On 3, we'll breathe in peace through the nose. Breathe out the mind through the mouth. Symbolizing the beginning, and then soon symbolizing the end of our silent sitting meditation. 1, 2, 3. In with peace. And out. Welcome to this moment, everyone. I invite you to listen from a place that does not zoom in on what it hears. In other words, I invite you to relax in all the ways that you can. Of course, relaxing in the shoulders and in the body. Relaxing in the lungs and in the breathing. Relaxing in the face and in the seeing. Relaxing in the mind and in the hearing. And finally, relaxing the relaxer. Relaxing the identity with the person. being careful not to assume a shape of someone throwing away their person, just relaxing into self. Listening, but not waiting. Experiencing, but not thinking about. Being, but not taking shape. Many of us, we go through our day to day with thought after thought. I am this, I am that, I am doing, I am resting. And we give these statements power. But what does not need more power is just I am. I am before context, no context, prior to interpretation or self-image. I am. Rest in this, which is here always. The way that we see is we see all at once, but the way that we think, we see the star and ignore the sky. We see the words and ignore the page. In meditation of the heart, the opportunity is to see how you really see prior to thought. And it is not a doing, it's not a trying. It is simply before the layers are added on. this is why we simply relax. We don't try to bring our personality beyond thought. We just drop the thought of personality altogether. And though the mind may be jumpy, that is just the words on the page, which is not jumpy. Just the changing of the scenes in the movie, but not the screen on which the movie takes place. The screen of consciousness is not jumping around with the mind. Being still, being silent, is not something that requires effort. It is the falling away of efforting. The realization that we hold too tightly to efforting. Therefore, stillness is not something you come into. It's something you temporarily pretend not to be and come back to. Allow the sounds, feelings, the darkness behind the eyelids, the sensations of the body to be the movements through which your silence becomes noticeable. Allow the dynamic energies of life bring you to a place of awareness of self. Self does not mean self-image or a feeling. Self is what there is. Similarly, here and now is also not an image. It is what there is. It is for this reason that masters such as Ramana Maharishi have said everyone is already self-realized, for the self is all there is. And when asked the question, how to treat others, his response, there are no others. In a few moments, we'll be signaled for a final deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth together on the count of 3. But before we do, check in with this truth. There are no others. When you look out at the sky and you see the mighty sun, do you see that outside of yourself or inside? Even though it's far, far away. Ashe. So on 3, we'll go in with peace and out with the mind. 1, 2, 3. In. And out. Welcome to this moment, everyone. Mm. Hearts, hearts.
That was amazing. I was so relaxed, but aware. And I felt like I was in a Spike Lee movie because
I remember how.
I was
Yeah.
moving, but only around myself,
Right.
just around myself.
Right.
And and uh, and I think I heard rain. Did I hear rain?
Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
track.
And it was just so soothing. Like I wanted to go to sleep, but I couldn't. It was really good. Really good.
That's that's great. Keep it with you, right? Was really good
I
is cool, but keep it with you. Sorry, Lisa. Hmm.
no, I was just so excited when I noticed how calm my mind was. I have a super busy brain, super busy mind. It's crazy. I mean, like I'm sure many people do. I'm not saying I'm exceptional, but it's usually so much happening that I used to celebrate just, not worrying about it, just letting the thoughts go. But today I noticed I'm here. Like it's really still, I really was just freaking out a little bit
Mm-hmm.
about how calm my mind was. My mind, I did not have to override, ignore, all of which I've been learning to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't much to look, it was beautiful. All of it was beautiful. So when you would say things, your whole relaxation prompts, the fact that I was able to respond to them
Yeah.
as opposed to try to kind of sort of fight my way to there,
Right.
I'm celebrating that in a very major way.
Look at this. 15 minutes of stillness a day, huh?
I guess so. I don't even know. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy
Let me
'cause
just drop that reminder that you've been doing
I
that.
have been doing that, and it has been. It's. I used to, like I said, I used to be afraid of it. Now I'm relishing it. Like last night, I didn't get to do it till late. The whole day got away from me, and I'm like, oh no, let me stop right now. Even at 8 something at night, we're gonna stop. We're gonna do this, and so it's something I'm relishing, and it's slipping into. But yeah, I guess so. I didn't even. That's so sad. I didn't make the connection.
I got you.
It's just been so gradual. There's been no light switch moment. It's just been these gradual kind of revelations about my mental state and my emotional state. So I didn't just notice that. I didn't even make that connection. Yeah, it was really good. I think my head snapped back, but I wasn't asleep. I just had sunk in.
Yeah. Yep.
Wonderful. Really good.
Yeah. That's that's awesome. What was what was something that one of the prompts, I don't know, that you remember from?
I don't remember, but it was just the way you invited us to. You said, you started with you said something about just relax, starting with your shoulders and your whatever. And then
Mm-hmm.
that it was more than physical, but you were just saying, I don't remember, honestly. I was,
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because you said, you started off by trying not to receive this. I don't know. I kind of thought about it in the carnal.
Hearing
I
and
don't
stuff.
remember what you
Yeah.
said, but to
Yeah.
just
Like
try to receive. Yeah.
relaxing the hearing and the singing, relax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but I did it. I knew I could immediately connect to what you're saying. I remember celebrating that, like, oh yeah, because normally there's so much happening. I'm like, yeah, right, I can't do all that, but that's okay. Let me see what I can do. But today it was like, oh yeah, just receive kind of like feel the essence of what you're saying as opposed to parsing every word. So I can't remember what you said, but
Yeah,
I heard and felt everything you said.
that's
So
great.
when you said,
Mm-hmm.
when we look at the sun and look at the sky, I felt like, and then you said, you did the quote of,
There are no others.
there are no others.
Yeah.
I felt like, t- to me, it just said, because I am, I am everything.
Yeah.
I am all
Yeah.
and
All that
everything.
oneness. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And when you said
And
to,
by the way, I want to ask really quick, right here. I'm sorry. I want to ask really quick. You said you felt it, but was it more like a just a total experience, or was it just like a feeling for you?
it was like an aha.
Mm-hmm.
There are no others because I am everything.
Yeah. Wonderful. I
I
just
am
wanted
all
to.
of that. I am the sun, the
Mm-hmm.
moon, the sky. There's no separation from me and anything and everything.
Amazing. Yeah.
That's what I experienced. And when it was just uh, total relaxation when you said to lower your shoulders, because you know how my shoulders are always up and
Yep.
you often come behind me, and that's when I know. So the relaxing the shoulders, then relaxing the face, and I began to smile inside, and uh, and then I just kind of let my legs dangle instead of putting them on the on the, the chair,
Yeah.
and it was just pure calmness and relaxation. I could hear everything you said, but it didn't disturb that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't disturb it. It
Mm.
was just amazing. I'm like, Lisa, I'm excited.
We growing up.
Oh, oh no.
You say next y'all baby's getting so big.
Ce-
Shut up,
Celebrate. Good.
soul.
Let's come on. Celebrate. Oh,
Oh, yeah, I remembered one. I remember that one because it was at the end. I said, I said I remember. Then it goes away, right? That Ramana Maharishi,
right. A
he
quote.
says, um, the self is all there is, and when asked the question, well, how do we treat
Oh,
others? His answer is, there are no others. And then I said, so hold this truth when you go outside and you look up and you look at the sun, for instance, right? Or you notice the sun. The sun is millions of miles away. Where do you experience the sun? Inside or outside? The answer is always inside. There's no ex, you know, there's nothing outside of what you just said.
yeah.
So other people and other personalities and other um, like objects that are just foreign to what the mind can wrap around. Where do you experience this otherness? Inside, or is it actually outside? It's never outside. There is no outside because there's truly no inside. There's just what is, which is here and now, aka the self. The Hindus call it the self. Some other people call it God. Some other people call it this and that, whatever. Natural here-ness is what it is.
Hi. Yes. For me, because I'm on the train, so it goes in and out. But
Right.
yeah, it was great for me too, because I like that, identity, essence, and it felt like taking off like a heavy coat. So that
Yeah.
felt good. And then when you were talking about the sun and the moon, and then Jacqueline mentioned that too, it reminded me of when my mom passed away, my son, we were sitting in the bedroom and the sun was shining in, and he looked outside the window and he was like, "Oh, look outside, there's Granny." And we were looking like, what? He was like, "She's the sun, she's the moon, she's the stars, she's the clouds." He was like,
Oh,
"She's in our hearts with God." And I looked at this
Oh,
little kid and I'm like, what the, what the? Because he was like maybe 4 or 5. He
wow.
always found
Oh.
that to be so profound. I was like, he's right.
You're right.
He sees it.
Yeah.
oh.
What did
But
I
for
say
He
him
to
to
was
say,
this
so
morning? I need to eat
"Oh,
some.
like it was
Like,
so clear to him."
Wow.
oh my goodness,
Oh,
he need to come lead the
He
next
was teaching,
meditation. With
right?
all
He
that.
was teaching.
Look here.
Wow.
these children.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Which
And
one?
the older one, 12-year-old. But yeah, he was like 5 at the time when he said that. And I just was like, wow, because, I'm grieving and I'm like sitting there and I'm just
Yeah.
like fascinated and in awe. And the light was just shining so brightly in the room. And I was like, he's right.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Oh, that's wonderful.
yeah, I appreciate this.
Children
I really
surprise me
do.
all the time.
Hmm? Yeah.
Children surprise me all the time. I was a substitute
Yeah.
teacher for a long time, and I've always just kind of been a fun person to be around for kids and stuff. And so they love me, and they just, yeah, the stuff that they feel, and they feel it, and they don't question it. They don't have a doubt.
Yeah, it's just so matter of fact.
So matter of
Yeah.
fact, like, look, there's Granny. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
look, you
We were looking
can't
and we
you
were like,
see? You know, it's like,
Yes.
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so
And
clear, mommy. You know,
My sister
wow.
wasn't convinced, but I was.
Hey, you know.
she wasn't in a place to receive
Yeah, she
it.
was not. She just was like, okay.
What's wrong with this kid?
Mm,
Mm. Wow, 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 wow.
Oh, wow. What a
but
day.
that's like, what does it mean to be in the place to receive it, right?
Absolutely.
This is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing.